Hey guys, Merry Christmas. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Kiana and I do a lot of sewing and fashion videos, and today I have a very unique and creative Christmas gift guide for you. If you are someone who's really struggling to come up with non-basic and more personalized gift ideas for this year, then fear no more, because I have put together this little gift guide for you, and I'm gonna include a few DIYs. If you're a crafty person, you can make something to give to someone, very personalized. And I'm also going to show you guys all of the gifts I bought for my loved ones, which I feel like are very unique, very personalized, and specifically creative, because everything I bought is from Etsy, aka a creator like myself made the gift, and I got to purchase from an actual individual maker, which makes me very happy. Anyways, I have a lot of gifts to show you guys, so let's just get into it. Starting off with the gifts I bought from Etsy. Now, I'd like to thank Etsy for sponsoring today's video. And yes, this is sponsored, but I think that as far as ads go, this is the most organic ad possible. As you know, I am an Etsy creator. Go shop my sewing patterns on Etsy. You can make someone a gift, a clothing item for Christmas if you wanted. So let's start with the gifts for someone that we all know and love, your favorite, Miss Bella, who has been my assistant for 3 years now. She's more than an assistant. She's my best friend. She's a sister. So I got her 3 things from Etsy. The first, she has been talking about wanting a jewelry case for travel. She only has a small one. I have one about this size, but low-key I'm really jealous because hers is much better than mine. First of all, personalized with her name, birthday, and star sign. She's a Sagittarius. You open it and it has all of these compartments in here. Like, are you kidding me? This is so organized. Oh, and by the way, if you want to shop these products as well, everything in this video I'm going to link down below so you can buy from Etsy and these particular Etsy sellers. All right, the second thing I got from Miss Bella is from a shop called Sage and Olivia Jewelry. It is a personalized necklace. It's a birthstone necklace, though, like I told you, she's a Sagittarius. She was born in December, but the birth flower I picked was a June rose, and the birthstone I picked was a February amethyst, because her grandmother, who was her favorite person and who she has her middle name after, her name was Rose. So that is what the really big pendant in the middle represents. And then the N pendant represents the name of her boyfriend, first initial, Nick. And the purple birthstone is for me, because that's my birthstone. And you might be like, girl, she doesn't like you that much. I know you guys, I know you guys don't see everything between the two of us, but truly she's not just my assistant. We are best friends. We are sisters. And the last gift I got for Bella is for hosting. She's been enjoying hosting more parties lately. And so I got this giant custom charcuterie board with her name engraved on it. Gorgeous. This also came in like 3 days. I don't know how they did it that fast, but watch this. It comes with the freaking cheese knives. Girl. There's more storage for charcuterie items. So boom, she's ready to host parties. Okay, so that is everything for Miss Bella. Okay, so next is my mom, and I got her 2 things from Etsy. The first is this gold jewelry. I got her these little gold hoops. She had gold hoops, she loved them. I got them for her years ago and she lost them. So I got her these gold hoops from Darling Jewelry Studio on Etsy, and I think she'll love them. The second gift I got her from Etsy, I'm so excited about it. You guys are gonna die. So you guys know my dog Hotch. Hold on. Hotch, why don't you come and be in the video, please? Come here. Okay, so like I was saying, you guys know my dog Hotch. Say hello. Well, Hotch is very best friends with my mom's dog Bentley. Bye-bye. So I got someone to custom watercolor the 2 dogs together, and they were able to take 2 separate photos of the dogs and combine them into one, into a watercolor print. My mom is gonna freak out. This might be like my favorite gift I'm giving this year. All right, for my dad, he loves plants. He has a bunch of them in his office, and he often propagates new ones, but his setup kind of is not the cutest, and he said this multiple times, like he wants a better setup for his plants. So to start him off, hold on, let me unwrap this. I got him a propagation station. Isn't it cute? They're like little beakers. My dad's gonna love that. And then there's little labels to put in them. This is a great, great gift, I think, for someone who loves plants. All right, and then for my last person, I got a couple gifts for one of my other best friends, Kaz. So the first thing are these customized leather coasters. Real leather. Oh yeah, you can smell it's real leather. I love the scent of real leather. He's really into decorating his apartment, so I thought this would be a really good gift. They have a little felt back, and then the front is this like heat engraved leather with a C for his initial. And then the last gift I got for him is a belt with his initials on it. Again, he likes leather, so it's this leather brown belt. And then on the inside are his initials, CN. That way it's like customized, but it's not flashy. You know, some people don't like having things customized on the outside. So this way I thought it was just like a cute little personalized touch, but it's just for him, you know? Anyways, so those are all the gifts I bought from Etsy. Again, thank you so much to Etsy for sponsoring today's video. Now, let's get into some DIYs. To the cutting table. So all 3 DIYs I'm gonna show you are super, super easy and cute. We're gonna go from easiest to hardest, but even the hardest is very beginner friendly. So I'm starting out with this cute little photo collage I made of me and Bella. I think it's a really fun way to make just like the classic picture frame and picture gift more elevated. So first, I'm taking some scrap fabric, and it only cost me $7 for the frame. Everything else I already had. So I'm just taking some fabric, cutting that out to the shape of the frame, choosing a photo, and then adding some cute little collage elements on top. So stickers, handwritten words, and a little bow. And then to make sure everything stays in place, I'm just gonna secure it with some hot glue before popping it back in the frame. And this is how my little photo collage turned out. I think it's adorable. Like, come on. It's so cute. Took me 15 minutes. I love it. Now I'm gonna teach you guys how to make these super popular boxed makeup pouches. They've been around for forever. I remember making them in high school, but they're really having a moment right now, and they are super beginner friendly. So I'm cutting out 2 pieces of shell fabric, like the outer fabric, and the measurements for this rectangle are 13 inches by 10 inches. And you can play around with these measurements a little bit, but this is going to create a more medium to large sized pouch. You're gonna cut out 2 shell pieces of your fabric and 2 lining pieces. Also, I'm using fabric that is already quilted, so it has batting already sewn in it, which means it's gonna be a little bit more stable, have a little bit more shape. If you don't have pre-quilted fabric, you can quilt your own fabric, which is something I'm gonna teach you how to do in the next DIY. So fear not. You will have all the information you need, no matter what fabric you choose to use for this. Now, something else I wanna point out is I'm using a 12-inch zipper. And because I'm using a 12-inch zipper, that's why I made my fabric 13 inches wide, because 12 inches plus ½ inch of seam allowance on each side. So if you're using a different size zipper, want to make something small, bigger, you can keep the same proportions and match it to the zipper. And the zipper, by the way, is measured from the zipper stop to the zipper pull. So place your zipper face down to the right side of your shell fabric and then sandwich it in between with the lining. So place your lining on top of the zipper face down so the shell and the lining are also right sides together. Then you're gonna sew with 1/4 inch seam allowance along the top and switch to your zipper foot. So it's easier to sew around that zipper when you do this. Then you're just going to repeat that process for the other 2 pieces of fabric. So take your zipper, place it again face down to the shell, sandwich it in between the lining, and again sew with 1/4 inch seam allowance. This is what it should look like now, and you are just going to top stitch through both the shell and the lining on either side of the zipper. This way the fabric doesn't roll and get caught in the zipper. And I would top stitch like 1/8 of an inch away from that seam. Now take your 2 shell pieces and place them right sides together, and then do the same for the lining. Oh, and don't forget to unzip your zipper about halfway before you pin everything in place. Do not forget to unzip your zipper halfway. Now you're just gonna sew along this edge of the shell with ½ inch seam allowance, and then this same edge of the lining with ½ inch seam allowance. However, you need to leave a gap about 4 or 5 inches in the lining in the middle of this seam. This is so that you can turn everything right side out later. Now you're gonna unfold both your lining and shell. It's kind of hard to explain, just you can kind of see what I'm doing. But those 2 seams that you just sewed should be stacked on top of each other with the zipper in the middle. Make sure all of those seams are perfectly lined up. Then pin that together and sew with 1/2 inch seam allowance along these 2 seams. Just be super careful when sewing the edge with the unzipped zipper. You want to still make sure the zipper stays nice and centered, so pin it really good before you sew the seam. Now take your hands and kind of fiddle your hands in there to unzip the zipper all the way, which will allow you to turn everything now right side out. When you turn it right side out, make sure the zipper works, make sure everything looks nice, because we are going to move on to the very last step in a second. And so before we box the corners, we just want to make sure everything looks good. Now we're going to just top stitch close that gap we left before, and then we are going to box the corners. So to box the corners, turn the bag inside out, and then you're going to take the corner and turn it so that seam is centered and you've created this little triangle. Make it nice and flat. Make sure there's no fabric folded on the inside. You're going to sew through both the lining and the shell here. Should be nice and flat. Then take your ruler to mark a line that's 4 inches long. So 2 inches on one side of that seam and 2 inches on the other side of that seam. 4 inches long. Then you're just going to sew straight down that line that you just marked, and that is how you create a boxed corner. Do that to the other 3 corners and then you are done. I'm going to leave the corners in the bag. You don't really notice them, but if you want, you could trim them down and add some binding. But this is your final makeup pouch. Super beginner friendly, and I think they're so adorable. And then the last gift I'm going to show you are these cute little handmade Christmas stockings with quilting and hand embroidery, which with the principles that I'm going to teach you, you can apply to a lot of other gifts. So quilting, the hand embroidery, you can use that to personalize a lot of things. Now for the pattern, you have a couple options. You could either trace out a stocking you already have. You could be like me and just freehand it, or you could go into my description and just download this pattern for free because I love you. Merry Christmas. But yeah, this is more of a medium-sized stocking, just FYI. It's not like a traditionally large stocking. Now, I'm going to self-line all my stockings, aka I'm going to use the same fabric on the outside and the inside. So I really just needed a yard for each stocking. Now, I'm going to cut out 4 of the fabric. If I was doing a different lining than the shell, I'd do 2 of the lining, 2 of the shell, and then I'm cutting 2 pieces of batting for quilting. And for reference, I chose to use the poly-fil extra loft quilt batting, which has a 3/8 of an inch loft. The loft is just how thick it is. Now I'm going to mark out all of my quilt lines, and I'm going to do a fairly basic quilt pattern. So I'm just using some tailor's chalk to mark out straight lines that are at a 30-degree angle 2 inches apart to create these diamonds. Now I'm just going to use some spray adhesive to have the batting adhere to the fabric. Place the fabric with the wrong side against the batting, and then just smooth it out. That way the batting stays nice and secure while you're sewing. Now I'm just going to sew along all of those lines that we just created, and I found my normal presser foot to work really well. I know some people switch to a walking foot. I just lowered the pressure of the presser foot a tad bit, and my fabric fed through the machine quite easily. One tip I would have for you guys when quilting is to sew all of your lines in the same direction. So if you're sewing from the bottom of the stocking to the top, do that for all of your lines. Don't go from the top to the bottom to the bottom to the top to the top to the bottom, because that could distort your fabric a little bit. Once you've quilted your fabric, just place the 2 pieces right sides together and sew along the perimeter of the stocking, but of course not at the top. Once you sew this seam, you are going to want to reduce the bulk a little bit. So I'm using some pinking shears to trim down the seam allowance a bit. And then I'm also going to clip along that inside curve. Then just flip it right side out and you can see your stockings start to take shape. Then do the exact same thing for the lining pieces. However, you're going to need to leave a little 4 to 5 inch gap on the side of the stocking so everything can be flipped out later on. And then again, I'm going to use in combination trimming, clipping, and notching along the seam allowance to reduce the bulk. Now the stockings need to hang with something. So I just cut out a strip of fabric 7 inches by 1.5 inches wide, folded it into quarters, and then just top stitched it to secure it. Now for the cuff, the pattern is basically just a trapezoid, and again, it'll be linked in the description if you want to download it, but you just need to cut out 1 piece on the fold for this cuff. Now optional, I am going to do a hand embroidery stitch, specifically a chain stitch with everyone's names on it, but of course you don't have to do that. It does add like a good bit of time, maybe an hour to the project. So for the hand embroidery, you're going to need a stabilizer, an embroidery embroidery hoop and some embroidery floss. Figure out where you want to embroider the name, and then again just use that spray adhesive to adhere the fabric to the stabilizer. Then just pop it in the hoop. Now I'm grabbing some wash away stabilizer that dissolves with water to write down the name that I'm going to embroider with pencil. And I'm gonna use this as a little template for my stitches. So again, I'm using a chain stitch. So to do a chain stitch, you're gonna come up from the underside of the fabric to the front side, leave a sizable thread tail, maybe like 7 to 10 inches long. And on the front side of the fabric, you're gonna wanna pull out the thread to be about a yard long. Then you're gonna go right back into the hole that you just came out of, but before you pull the thread all the way, come back up about 1/8 of an inch away from your previous stitch and catch that excess thread. It's kind of hard to explain, but just watch what I'm doing here, and that is called a chain stitch. And then just tie the thread off on the back side of the fabric like normal. So just wrap your thread around the needle a few times and pull the thread through. Now to finish the cuff, fold it in half right sides together and sew along this edge. I'm also using a stretch fabric for the cuff, so I'm going to use a stretch stitch as well, just so the thread doesn't pop. Now turn the cuff right side out, place it over your quilted stocking, take your little strap, fold it in half, and place it at the back side of the stocking. And then finally, with the lining turned inside out, pull that over the entire stocking and pin everything together at the top. Now the seam is going to be pretty thick because it has everything layered in between. So when you sew this with 1/2 inch seam allowance, just go slowly, take your time, and make sure you are actually catching every layer of fabric. Now the final step is to just pull everything right side out using that gap we left open earlier in the lining, and then you can just top stitch that gap closed on your sewing machine and stuff the lining back in the stocking, and you are done. Again, I would say this is a very beginner friendly project. I would say though that the embroidery and the quilting definitely add some time to the project, so know that it's not going to be like a quick little 1-hour project, but if you omitted the embroidery and the quilting, it honestly probably could be. But those are all 3 DIYs. Now let's present some of those presents. Hello, I have brought a very special guest.
Hi!
Who is she? She's Bella. Okay, but she's here today because we are going to gift her all of the items we purchased and made for her. So, what would you like to start with?
I will start with this one.
Okay, let's clear the gifts away.
Okay.
All right. All right, open your gift.
Okay. Stop! Oh!
It's a Sagittarius.
And it says my birthday?
Yeah.
And it's so big.
Yeah, because you wanted a big one.
I did want a big one. Oh my god. Oh wow.
I know, yours is better than mine, huh?
Oh yeah. Aw. Thank you. Should I hug you after everyone? Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, gift number 2 for you.
What is this? Get me in there. Aww.
Do you know what they all are?
Well, I see an N, a rose, and is that your birthstone? Ew, I love that! Oh my god, it's gorgeous. Ew.
You're welcome.
Smells so good.
Oh, thanks. I try.
Oh my god, this is so pretty.
Thanks.
Wow, that rose charm is gorgeous.
Isn't it pretty?
Aw, thank you.
This is your last present from Etsy.
Okay.
Oh, maybe I'll present it to you.
Nice.
Ta-da!
Oh my god. Is it a puzzle?
Yes.
I love puzzles.
Fragile.
That's actually my least favorite Christmas movie.
Really?
I hate that movie.
I don't remember it that much, but I don't remember loving it. You know what I don't like? What movie? Christmas movie I don't like? Elf.
Really?
Yeah.
I love that movie.
Really? We gotta be safe.
Wow.
Ain't nobody coming to find me.
Good job. Okay. Let's see. Oh my god, is this a, what's it called?
It's like a charcuterie board or a cutting board, I feel like, but like
too
they're like,
fancy.
yeah.
Wow.
For the crackers.
Oh my god.
If you run out of space,
put little nuts in there.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Oh my god, it comes with little signs.
Yeah.
Cheese knives, some meat knives. Oh, oh wait.
for your hosting.
The wood smells really good.
You know what it smells like to me?
Wood?
It smells like my childhood.
Oh.
Like a board game.
Like a puzzle.
Oh.
I wanted a puzzle. No, I'm kidding.
All right, these are all your presents from Etsy. I'll be purchasing these two for myself. I'm jealous. Okay, now I have a gift for you that I made.
Ooh. Oh. That you made?
Yes, yes. There you go.
Oh my god, that's so cute! Stop! That's precious!
Cute.
I'm gonna put it on my desk.
This is from when we went to Disney together.
Yes. We took this in the Rainforest Cafe,
Yes.
I believe.
Yes, and like how we slay.
Yes, yes.
Observe.
Wow. Stunning.
Stunning.
Stunning those two. This is
Maybe
so
this
fun.
is the end of the video, so should we say goodbye?
Yeah, I guess so.
We'll put this here so that they can observe.
They can see our love.
All right, so that is the end of the video. Hopefully this helped inspire you a little bit. Definitely leave a comment down below to let us know what you're DIYing. We still have some time before Christmas, so there's lots of time to DIY. Let us know what you're buying people for Christmas. We'll just all help each other out down in the comments. So if you like this video, feel free to give me a thumbs up because it's the easiest way to support your favorite creators for free. Also, feel free to follow me on Instagram and TikTok. My handle is Kiana Bonolo. Subscribe, turn on that notification bell, and we'll see you next time. Bye!